Well, what a show today, Munch.
I give you a community health announcement, something I came across about how women are reticent to do a number 2 at work and why we should all be letting the constraints go. It's bad for you to hold it in. It's a public health announcement.
Okay. I'm glad that you've put this in our podcast. Also,
Our poo-cast.
Also, red tape, eh? Governments really have to pull their finger out. But this poor lady on ACA last night thought she was doing the right thing by laminating her Australian citizenship certificate.
It was so important to her.
So important. She goes to take it along to the Service New South Wales so she can get a picture ID thing.
Yeah, they won't verify for her because it's been laminated. Ugh. Also, Tales of the Sea, the tribal drums beating for this. And this is because we're going to be talking to a woman called Suzanne Hayward. When she was 7, her parents said, hey, for a couple of years, we'll take you out of school, you and your brother, and we'll have an incredible sea adventure.
Yeah.
10 years later, Dad's gone rogue. There's been no education. She's desperate to get off that boat.
The tribal drum will beat Tales of the Sea coming out. Also, how much money are the Oasis boys making out of their upcoming tour?
Well, not even that. Just how much are people being asked to pay because of price surging? Very interesting.
Also, forget F-Boy Island. Tell us about the new show.
Finding Mr. Christmas. Do you want to star in a Hallmark film? You can.
That's coming up in this podcast.
Right now, by the miracle of recording, we had so many requests for them to do it again.
Mistress Amanda.
Miss Keller. Amanda.
Doesn't work alone.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Her friend is in a back room making the tools of the trade.
I've heard them describe him as a drunken idiot.
Sorry, I've been drinking beer.
The legendary pirate Jonesy and Amanda the actress.
Hello, Wiggles.
Congratulations, Mandy.
We're on the radio right now.
Jonesy and Amanda, you're doing a great job.
You have no empathy for anyone but yourself, you giant tool.
Now's the time to hear good radio.
Sorry, a bit of a tongue twist there.
What are you, an idiot?
Jonesy and Amanda are here.
It's showtime, a-holes. We're on the air.
Good morning to you, Amanda. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. How are you?
Well, thank you for almost killing me.
What do you mean?
That unit you were saying, there's a unit on the Carl Expressway.
Don't say.
What do you mean don't say?
It's someone's privacy.
Well, you've said as you come off the, because we're in the new digs here.
Yes.
And you come through the Domain Tunnel there and there's a nice scoopy bit that you go into the Carl Expressway.
Yeah.
And you said there's a unit there. And I thought, how have I missed this unit? The reason I missed the unit, because it's a nice corner for a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning into that corner. So this morning I went, oh, there's the unit. I've nearly gone into the guardrail.
Well, because often when you drive past there, you're near the Four Seasons Hotel and you can see, you think, gee, I wonder what if people
What's
are getting
going on there?
dressed? But then I saw this unit and let's not talk where it is because that's someone's privacy that I just mentioned to you.
They're into it. They're into it.
Do you think-
If you live there on the corner, and there was a dude just sitting there on his lounge.
And with you going,
I went, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like having my brother on the back of my motorcycle. He's dreadful as a peon passenger because he leans the wrong way. So you go around the corner and he leans.
When we moved in here, you wanted to get binoculars. And Anita McGregor, my friend who's a psychologist, was in because we were recording a podcast. And she said, you said, should I get binoculars? Because I had said, I don't think you should. And she said, which I thought was very good advice, she said, if you're looking out over public buildings, not so bad. But we are looking over a whole lot of apartment buildings as well.
With binoculars comes great responsibility.
Yes,
I wouldn't be zoning in on anyone's unit.
Well, how do we know to trust you?
You can trust me as sure as you can trust me.
Yeah, that's the problem.
What do you mean?
Oh, you'd be zooming in.
I would not. All I want to do is see what's
Zooming
going on
in.
in the harbour. Something happens, I want to know.
Well, maybe we get you binoculars that are just constantly affixed to the horizon.
You're the one that's obsessed with the apartment down here, always perving down there.
I'm not perving.
You're always
I'm
having
just
a good old
interested.
look.
It's like Sim City.
Yeah, well, you're the one. So maybe this is more about you and not me.
Maybe it is.
Maybe you're the one. And you're wearing a trench coat today, so...
No,
well,
I'm not. It's a leather jacket.
That's what they say. Next minute you'll be walking around a park. That's what you'll be doing.
How did we get there?
How did we indeed? Well, it's a nice looking day today. We've got an action-packed show. Do you like Tales of the Sea?
We are going to be speaking to a woman who, when she was 7 years old, her parents said, hey, we're going to go on a big seafaring adventure for a couple of years. And she went, oh, great, no school. What she didn't realise is that her father was quite a domineering man, actually decided no school, and they'd be on that boat for 10 years.
Yeah.
And in the end, she had to seek out her own education. They'd be in the ocean for like 8 weeks at a time. I can't think of anything worse. So the cute little adventure turned into a horror.
Her name is Susan Hayward. She'll be joining us on the show a little bit later on. Instagram makes its return, and we can't do anything until we do the Magnificent Seven.
Question 1. Ben and Jerry are famous for making which frozen dessert?
Jam Nation. We have for you the Magnificent Seven. 7 questions. Can you go all the way and answer all 7 questions correctly? If you do that, Amanda will say...
Hey, if you win the Mag 7, you have to see Bryan Adams.
Great.
Well, yeah, it is great.
I'm just letting that bed in.
Yeah.
But it's about getting question
Let
7
Bryan
right.
bed in.
John, let Bryan bed in. We should get him on the show again because I feel the last time we had Bryan
He's
on,
notoriously cranky.
he is a bit cranky. John is in Birrong.
Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing?
Very well. John, let's talk about Ben and Jerry. John, Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry are famous for making which frozen dessert?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
We could go some ice cream right now. True or false, Metallica is the only band to play on all continents, including Antarctica. Is this true or false, John?
I think that's true.
It is true.
They played on all seven continents in 1 year in 2013. Wow. So, amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Metallica song, Amanda?
I think I know one.
Which one?
Something about the devil? What's that one?
Are you I'm trying to work out where you're going here.
Is there a devil song?
There's Enter Sandman.
That might be it.
Exit Light, Enter Night.
I think that might
one?
be it, about the panel van.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I just like their music in general. It's awesome.
I like Master of Puppets. It's just nice.
Did you hear that in Antarctica?
I've never been.
Question number 3. What's on the box?
Television.
I'll turn the box on.
John, which TV show has this theme?
Show me what you got. Are you a winner? Can you make it hot? Don't be a loser. Take it to the top. Make it pop.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I really don't know.
The Brady Bunch has had a glow up. So, am I on my own in here, Brendan? All you've done is pull faces all morning.
It's my new
Are
thing.
you in a fog?
That's my new thing. No, I'm just letting you talk.
Okay, all right.
You're
Well,
always saying I need to talk more on the show.
I
so
never say that.
There you go.
I never say that. Are you in a snit?
No, I'm not in
Or
a
a small Russian car this
No, I'm
morning?
not in a snit. I'm
Well, that's what
just
TV
enjoying
show
you.
has that theme.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Podcast.
Where do the Magnificent Seven? We find ourselves at question number 3.
It's going to Jackie in Campbelltown. Hello, Jackie.
Good morning. How you going, guys?
Very well.
Jackie.
It's What's on the Box.
Television.
I'll turn the box on.
It's a great theme. What TV show has this theme?
Show me what you got. Are you a winner? Can you make it hot? Don't be a loser. Take it to the top. Make it pop. Put the pedal to the metal. Hit hot. Stop.
Do you know what show that is?
Yeah, it's RuPaul's Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's
Yes,
it.
it is.
Which of these dog breeds is not part of the New South Wales Police Dog Unit? A, German Shepherd. B, Labrador. C, Dachshund.
The Dutch Hound.
Yes, that's right.
Little sausage dog.
The little legs would be too short to go up the stairs.
It'd be good at getting into tight spaces.
It would, but they're hard to motivate. A German Shepherd can be trained. A Labrador just give it food.
They're
But
so-
a Dachshunds are cute, but
I
they're...
love the duck sounds. You see them.
Dachshund?
Yeah, they just look just little sausage dog.
I know, they're cute. They're very popular at the moment, aren't they? Number 5 for you. What kind of activity would you find at Canada's Whistler? What would you be doing at Whistler?
Skiing.
You'd be skiing.
Or
you'd be
snowboarding, dude.
Or you'd be apraying.
In which country would you find a place nicknamed the Floating City?
I have no idea. India, maybe?
No, sorry, Jackie.
Michael's in Cronulla.
Hi, Michael.
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. So the Floating City, in which country would you find the Floating City? That's its nickname.
Maybe China?
Say again?
China?
No.
No.
The Floating City is a nickname for a very famous city. So meaning it's not called the Floating City, it's just known as that.
It's known as the Floating City because
because it floats.
Daniel's
on the
in
water.
DY.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, how you going?
Very well. In which country would you find a place that's been nicknamed the Floating City, but it's known as something else?
In France.
No.
You might see George Clooney there.
You might see a gondola or two.
Yeah. Tanya's in George's Hall.
Hello, Tanya.
Good morning, folks. How are you?
Very well. So what country would you find the floating city?
Oh, would it be Italy?
It is, because we're talking about Venice, which is known as the floating city.
Which Australian supermodel has just released her first book, Tanya?
A memoir.
Is it Elle McPherson?
It
It's
is.
Elle.
She's going to be on our show next week.
Looking forward to catching up with Elle.
Absolutely.
I didn't realise that she had a battle with breast cancer.
Well, she's revealed a lot in this book. Yeah.
Congratulations to you, Tanya. You've won the Jam Pack. It's all coming your way. A double pass to see Bryan Adams at Kudos Bank Arena, February 12th. Special guest James Arthur on sale Wednesday. $150 to spend at Flowers for Everyone. Spring is in the air. Order at flowersforeveryone.com.au. And Jonesy and Amanda character choose for you to colour in and some Sailor pencils. I say, Tanya, is there anything you would like to add to this?
I'm super excited about seeing Bryan Adams, so thank you very much, guys.
What's your favourite Bryan Adams song outside of Summer of '69?
Why outside?
I was going to say Summer of '69.
That's just the hit. Well, you know, if you're a true fan.
Oh, come on.
What about It's Only Love? That's a banger.
I'm true to the Summer of '69.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
you like the Summer of '69. That's okay.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Podcast.
I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm only going to say it once.
Hello there. Thumbing through the Jarmanac, our big book of musical facts. On this day in 1982, Steve Miller Band released their hit Abracadabra. That's easily one of their more popular songs.
It's catchy.
What else is there? The Joker?
Yeah, on the Midnight Joker, that one.
Really like your peaches, want to shake your tree?
Yeah.
Abracadabra, in case you're not familiar with it, is this.
I heat up, I can't cool down.
And lately, Eminem has released a new song. This came out in May of this year. It's called Houdini. Have a listen.
Would I really have a shot at a feat? I don't know, but I'm glad to be back like
Familiar much?
Before you start screaming out rip-off, apparently Steve Miller was happy to license the song to Eminem, calling the rapper one of those timeless originators.
Originator? Let's just play with the English language, shall
That's
we?
like a lot of people say about me as well, you know.
But it's not even English.
If you steal from Jonesy, you've stolen twice, they say.
What an originator.
Well, let's get the OG on. What do you think?
Do it.
Jam Nation.
Look, I'm going to talk, here's a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about toilets right now, but nothing grubby.
A little bit late for your trigger warning.
Well, it's nothing grubby. Toilets, it's interesting because men have no trouble going to a public toilet, going to toilet at work. Going to toilet at work, down mine. I did a story in Japan many years ago with Beyond 2000, probably 30 years ago. If you go to a public toilet in Japan, still these days, you can press a musical button that covers the sound of, in women's toilets, I don't know what the men are like, to cover the sound of you tinkling into the toilet bowl. And then, because what was happening was that women were pressing the flush to cover the sound. So they'd flush before they went and flush when they went after and was wasting too much water. So now you can disguise the sound of a natural thing of going to the toilet by playing music. There was a whole statistic about women who've never gone to the toilet outside their own homes. And let's talk about number twos for a minute. And this isn't a joke. Women find it very hard to do a number two outside a safe place, i.e. usually your own home. Whereas guys don't seem to have trouble, do they, Brendan? You know, you guys do joke with each other about, oh, I'm just off to the toilet to whatever. Am I right in saying so?
Yeah, to a degree. There's different, it's like white collar, blue collar sort of stuff. When you're on the work side, it's not such a big deal. But then the toilets on the work side are dreadful. Like if you go into a Portaloo, that's dreadful.
Yeah, but
like here is pretty good. It's like Shangri-La.
Yeah, but still, you have no qualms in sitting next to someone else and doing your business.
My complaint is they frosted the window, so now we can't look out at the harbour when we're doing a week.
But you have no problem going in there to do a number two. Guys just don't.
I wouldn't choose to do it.
But it's always the family trope too, is, oh, don't go in there, give it 20, Dad's been in the toilet. It's accepted that men can do stuff that smells, but it's hard for women to be this. I saw a really interesting thing from Queensland Health yesterday that came up on my feed. It's a picture of two dolphins and there's a poo emoji over the face of one, but they're all rainbow coloured and there's rainbows, and it said, it's okay to poo at work. And the message is this. It says lots of people find it difficult, and this is aimed at women, to poo at public toilets or at work. We're here to tell you it's okay to go number 2. Consistently ignoring your need to poo can lead to stool getting stuck in your colon and hemorrhoids and other health issues. So it's better to let it out than hold it in. And there's a name for people who find it difficult to poo around other people. It's called parcopresis. It's called poo paranoia. People with this condition have an overwhelming fear of being judged by others because of the sounds and smells associated with pooing. I guess it goes back to something primal. Our toilets have always been separate to, where we've eaten, where we've slept. We're always private about it. In our most historic sense, our most tribal sense, we've been private. And this still harkens back to that. So many women have the symptoms of trying to hold it in, an increased heart rate, sweating and nausea. So they say, here are some tips. This is from Queensland Health. Remember that everyone poos. They say, visualise someone famous on the toilet like Taylor Swift. Taylor would be thrilled with this. Bring a small fragrance spray to the toilet with you if you need to. Avoid food or drink that can trigger your bowels. Breathe deeply and just kind of meditate because it's the most natural thing in the world. And they suggest here, reach out to your healthcare provider for support if you need it.
Well, there you go.
You make an appointment with your doctor. I'm having trouble doing a poo at work.
And you have no problem with this?
No, I do have a problem with this.
Do you? Sure.
We all do. I reckon every female has a problem with this. Short of having your own private toilet, you don't want to be overheard, oversmelt, overknown.
Yeah.
Women still struggle with this.
But I see you walk off with the form guide under your arm saying, I'm off to the Borry house. I thought you were okay with it.
Whose life is that? I dream of being that open.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation. And I was just reading that prospective new councillors have already been read the Riot Act by Planning Minister Paul Scully, who said he'll use the local government elections. They're all coming up. The local
I've
government.
seen posters everywhere.
They're everywhere. There's a lot of independence, which worries me. Because nothing gets done when it's all independents. They're just so niche, so nothing gets done. But that's where we're at politically. But analysis of council planning data has shown 7 New South Wales councils over the last financial year took more than 200 days
to put a pergola up?
To make a decision on development applications.
There are some councils that are so notoriously slow.
I think of the Grey Gums Cafe up in the Putty Road there. It's a nice motorcycling destination, but they've had Singleton Council has just put them through the ringer about the difference between a gazebo and a pergola. It is nuts. The place is like in the middle of nowhere, and they've got to do an acoustics study.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of nowhere.
A gazebo and a...
Yeah, and then the councils, they go and spend all this money on an acoustic study, and then the council charges them $1,800 to listen to it, to the acoustic study.
Yeah. How do any businesses survive?
I know. How did we build that? How did we build the Harbour Bridge? I have no idea. So there's that, and I was watching ACA last night, and there's a story about a Sydney immigrant's decision to protect her Australian citizenship certificate. So she laminated it back in the 70s.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so she's never had a passport. She's never had a driver's license. She's never had any of those things. All she's got is this certificate that she laminated.
Well, there've been so many stories of people who came here without passports, came here under dire conditions and didn't have a passport.
No, but she wasn't under dire conditions. She went through the whole thing, the citizenship.
Then how does she not have a passport?
But I'm not too sure why she doesn't have a passport, but she came out here, did the citizenship
and was so proud of it, she laminated it.
They said, you better look after this.
Went down to Officeworks.
And she came from India where they didn't have things like laminating machines, so she thought, how good's this?
Yeah.
So she's got it laminated. The thing about that is she has to go to her bank, and the bank will only accept photo ID from Service New South Wales.
Which means a passport or a driver's license.
Yeah, which she doesn't have.
Right.
But so she goes to Service New South Wales with her certificate laminated, and then they said, no dice. This can't happen.
Her only crime was to value the document she was issued in 1971.
So proud was Eudora to become an Aussie citizen, she took her certificate to get laminated, a plastic coating to keep it from being torn or damaged.
And you just thought you were doing the right thing by looking after this precious certificate.
It's a once in a lifetime you get. if you want to keep this indoor, get it laminated. So off I went. I didn't know. I was only new in Australia then. So I went and did it. And I didn't think there was a big deal.
But laminating, turns out, is a big deal.
Is that where we're at now?
It's not being accepted because it was laminated.
Yes, because people can tamper with it underneath.
Oh, this makes my head cave in. Because it's the sort of thing that wakes you up at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Inexplicably, where's my birth certificate?
I saw this, exactly. I saw this story last night. I'm going, Helen, where's all that stuff?
Yeah, where's
and
all
she
that
goes, why are you
stuff?
doing this now? And I said, I've just got to find the stuff.
I know. And the minute you start ruminating on it, goodbye sleep.
And you know what you find? You find a manual to a VCR that you chucked out 16 years ago.
I've had mine laminated. I know exactly where that is.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Podcast.
Grab right now.
Who wants some free money?
Instant.
Coin cash.
Moolah.
I like the sound of that.
Jonesy and Amanda's
Instagram.
So, Sigma. 10 questions, 60 seconds on the clock. You can pass if you don't know an answer. We'll come back to that question if time permits. You get all the questions right.
$1,000. We've given away a few of these recently. Mitch got $2,000 because he decided to throw caution to the wind and answer a bonus question, but it was double or nothing.
I like the cut of Mitch's jib. I wonder what he's doing right now. Do you think he still thinks about us?
He's sounding a little needy.
Emma's in Engadine.
Hello, Emma.
Hello, how you going?
We are going very well. We'd love to give you some money
Good.
today. Let's see what we can do. You could be 60 seconds away from being at least $1,000 richer. You've got.
That'd be so wonderful.
Oh, it'd be wonderful. 10,000 questions. I've changed the rules. We've got 10 questions. We've got 60 seconds. If you're not sure, say pass, and we usually have time to come back, okay?
All right, then.
Emma, good luck. Here comes question number 1. What letter comes after G?
H.
Question 2. San Pellegrino are known for making what product?
Mineral water.
Question 3. Traditionally, on what part of the body would you wear a scarf?
Around your neck.
Question 4. Gotta catch 'em all is a slogan from which franchise?
Pass.
Question 5. True or false? Keith Urban was born in New Zealand.
True.
Question 6. Social media platform X was formerly known as what?
Pass.
Question 7. Which artist is behind the song Bad Guy?
Pass.
Question 8. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom?
Pass.
Question 9. What does the shop BCF stand for?
Boats. Boats, camping, fishing.
Question 10. The theory of evolution was coined by which biologist?
Oh, pass.
Okay, back to question 4. Gotta catch 'em all is a slogan for which franchise?
Pokemon.
Yes, question 6. Social media platform.
I was so slow. I passed too much.
Oh, but you let's see if you knew them. X was formerly known as what?
Twitter, I think.
It is. It's Twitter, and it sounded like you were trying to find the artist behind the song Bad Guy. It's in there somewhere.
Billie Eilish.
It is.
Duh.
First female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Oh, she's unattractive. That's all I can think of.
Margaret Thatcher.
Thatcher.
You knew them all.
What a legacy.
Yeah,
And the
just
theory of evolution was coined by
I've got no idea that
Charles Darwin. He speaks very highly of you, Emma.
So fun. He's not unattractive, I'm sure.
He had quite the beard.
Had quite a thing for monkeys. Well, there we go.
So did Thatcher.
I'm so sorry, Emma. You got $100 and thank you for playing.
Emma.
And I use my brain. Thank you so
did
much.
use your brain.
Jam Nation.
I do like Tales of the Sea. I like spending a bit of time on the water.
Yeah, but that's what you think. And then you hear a story. We're going to be talking to a woman called Suzanne Hayward later in the show. When she was 7 years old, her parents said, hey, or her father said, let's spend a couple of years with you and your brother aboard a sailing ship and it'll be incredible. Her father then went rogue and they were at sea for 10 years. No education. She had to choose to educate herself.
Yep.
Life on the sea is not what you imagine it will be. I know this.
How do you know this?
Because I spew the second I get on a boat.
Remember that time, the big seas, and I said, let's go on the ferry and go through the heads and see what it's like.
And I said, no.
And then you rang your husband.
Because I said,
and he
no.
You're not doing it.
I said, no. And you said, I don't know how you do it. You gaslight me somehow. And then I incidentally phoned Harley and I could just hear him say, no, you're not doing it.
And I said, well, if your husband won't let you, and then you, because you're a big feminist, he can't tell me.
But neither could you. But when I was newly pregnant, so how many years ago was that? Liam's 23.
Yep.
we thought we'd have a baby moon. We'd go, you know that thing where you just go on a holiday before kids come along?
Mm-hmm.
We chose to go to beautiful, I think it was Lizard Island or Daydream Island, one of those islands.
One of those islands.
One of those gorgeous islands. We could eat and drink all you like for a huge amount of money. I couldn't drink and I couldn't eat that much because I wasn't feeling great, so it was all wasted on me. But we flew over there. We flew to get there, and just as we were about to, and the weather was terrible, just as we were about to land, they said, well, we can't land, we're going back. And I thought, oh, no. Already I was on the cusp of just spew. So came back and I said, they're going to make us get on a boat. And they said, hey, we're going on a boat. A half-hour flight ends up being like a 4-hour boat trip. And I thought, I'm not going to survive this. So I'm on the boat and it's rocking so heavily, I have to go and throw up. I'm sorry I'm speaking in this way if you're having your breakfast. And I couldn't even stand up in the bathroom. That's how much the toilet, the whole boat was rocking around. So I just lay on the floor of the bathroom. And people came in and I was just lying on the floor, being constantly ill.
Oh.
And all week on that island, everyone who saw me said, there's the woman who was sick.
A sick lady.
I was the sick lady. Boats and me do not mix.
Well, there's been a lot of stories in the news. You see those 2 sailors off the New South Wales south coast.
Well, I saw that on the news and we knew the weather we'd been having and I thought, imagine spending a night on that boat.
This is how it was reported in the news.
Huge seas, howling winds, a disabled yacht, a small police boat edging closer towards the 2 sailors on board. A rescue finally balanced. The right moment to move in had to be perfectly timed.
Those conditions were a lot worse than what that video footage shows, and they were terrible. And it was pretty much quick run, jump, catch.
A 48-year-old woman, the first to safety.
Got one. One on board.
The 60-year-old male skipper next to take the leap of faith.
Two.
It always doesn't look as bad as when you're out there.
Oh, it sounded hideous.
Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours?
I love how you quote the work of, was it Gordon Lightfoot?
Yes.
Nice.
The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Well.
They had to go and face the press conference.
What was it like? What happened?
Oh, we'll go through that later. We'll just have simple questions.
Yeah. What do they ask? What's Pythagoras' theory? Can you say the alphabet backwards?
Tell us about your love story with Nicole Kidman.
No one knows what you're talking about.
Why don't we do this? It's our favourite thing.
Tales of the sea. Get your hands off me booty.
Tales of the sea.
Yeah.
What's happened? What have you seen? What did you do? What's happened?
Jam Nation. That couple that was rescued from their sailing vessel, you know, that's one of those things that you just don't want to be on. And many times people have said, oh, do you want to come and help us move this boat from here to here? And I think, it's good for the first hour and a bit.
Yeah. I think I've told you the story. We had a neighbour who was a boat inventor. And he... boat inventor. There must be a word for that somewhere. And
he's a boat inventor.
Yeah, he used to do wing keels or keels and stuff like that.
A keel guy.
Yeah, and he said to Harley, just come out just for the morning. It was on Pittwater. And Harley thought, yeah, that'd be lovely. And I said to Harley, well, when I see him, he said, I'll be back by 11 a.m. He's heading out at 7 or something.
Yeah.
See you at 11 a.m. Got back at 7 p.m. I've never seen him more sunburned. And the cuffs of his jumpers was just covered in spit.
Yeah.
He'd been human ballast pretty much, just lurching from side to side because they went out through their heads.
Yep, the old blokes that I sail with is exactly like that. You know, they just want you for ballast.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
I think they probably wanted Harley to do more, but he wasn't capable of more. He was so ill.
The tribal drum is beating for Tales of the Sea.
Ahar! Tales of the sea. Get
Hello.
your hands off me booty.
Please. Hello, Isabel.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Tales of the sea. What's happened?
I had such a bad experience where I actually went free diving and snorkeling at Jarvis Bay. We went on a 2-hour boat ride to actually get to the cave. So we were actually snorkeling in the cave. And so I went with my actual ex. And what happened was, before we even got to the cave, I was sitting on the side of the boat. And then when it came to actually getting into the water, I was actually, because the waves were so bad that I was actually vomiting in my snorkel for the whole trip.
That's no good.
You know, why do we take to the sea? Why don't we just stay on the land?
You know, I'm going to just come out and say it. Snorkeling. I just don't care for snorkeling anymore.
Why?
You see, well, I used to do. I've done a bit of it. I've done it at various places around the world. Yeah, okay, that's a groper. That's some coral. Well done.
Well, you've heard Brendan Jones there.
If you've never done it, I recommend it, but I don't need to do it again.
All right, well, Brendan, there goes our Christmas idea.
What you and I are going snorkeling. Oh, great.
I'm going to do it on the land.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Podcast.
Time for what?
It's time to get back to work.
Okay, it's enough goofing off.
Being an island nation, our interest is always piqued when we see a story on the news about a rescue on the high seas.
Huge seas, howling winds, a disabled yacht, a small police boat edging closer towards the 2 sailors on board.
Yeah. That's
And we know the recent weather we've had. We can imagine how horrific a night on that sea would have been.
That's why the tribal drummer's beating for.
Aha! Tales of the sea. Get your hands off me booty.
Hello, Michael.
Morning, Josie. Morning, Rita.
Hi, Michael. Tales of the Sea. What's happened to you?
Yes, well, I'd just after I met my wife, I was quite young then, we went on a cruise ship, and I've been overseas a couple of times, so I thought I've never used insurance when I've gone overseas, and I thought I'm on a big cruise ship, so what could happen? Went to Vanuatu, went across to Riki Island there, shot on a stonefish.
Oh.
And, hobbled back to the boat, got on the boat, and went down to the hospital, and they told me that the poison, the burning sensation, went just up past my knee. They said if it reaches my gland, which is in my groin area, I've got to be airlifted off to the nearest hospital because the poison's on the move to the heart.
So what do they do?
Well, they just kept an eye on it. I had to go and see them occasionally, and they said if it starts going further up your leg, we've got to get you off this boat to the nearest hospital because it's going for your heart.
Can I ask you what the pain was like? It's supposed to be an incredibly exquisite pain.
Well, I didn't have a very huge vocabulary except for swear words, and it felt like somebody on the bottom of your foot. It was like someone, not on a hot plate. It was like someone had a blowtorch on your foot, and it was making its way up your leg.
Yeah.
So can I just add one thing that actually did put a smile on my face? And my wife's going to be horrified. Is when we were going down to the hospital, there were two elderly couples, and there was one elderly couple there, male and husband and wife, and we're on the way down, and the husband says, "What have you done to yourself?" And I told him, shot on a stonefish, and he goes, "Well, there goes sex for you for the rest of the cruise." and quick as a flash, but the wife just slapped him across the chest, and I thought she's going to say, "Oh, you rude and vulgar old man," or something or other. And she goes, "You don't have sex with your foot." And I had a bit of a chuckle. It took my mind off it for a second or two.
Nice addendum to the story, Michael. Thank you. You don't have sex with your foot.
I should get that on a T-shirt for the cruise.
Sue.
Hello, Sue. Tales of the Sea.
Hi, my partner and a mate of his went out fishing. Long story short, I think they were aiming to go about 50 k's out, but they stopped about 15 k's out and followed some tuna back in towards the shore. So where they eventually stopped, I think was in about 7 k's out. They had only seen one boat all day, which was at the 7k reef. I think they were like 100 metres away from them or something. Anyway,
I'm just getting a chart plotter out here, by the way, Sue. So we've got 50 to 70.
15, then 7.
CQ. Sue's story is off to sea. Okay.
Mind you, I thought they were in the Hawkesbury. So, my partner said to the other guy when they stopped, he put a line out and said, "Oh, you better turn the bilge pumps on." And because he was up to about his ankles in water, and the other guy turned around and said they are on. And so Andrew just dropped the line and dove for the life preserver things. Yeah. And that was stuck. One of them was stuck in the milk crate. And so he's wrestling with that. And he said next minute, like, he's got water basically up to his chest. Had to take a big breath, but then he had to dive down because he was in the little cabin bit, had to dive down under the cabin to get out. When he came up to the surface. He reckons he was about maybe 5 to 7 metres down when he came up.
Right.
And he was by himself.
Oh.
So Nick hadn't made it out of the boat. He reckons he was probably over 10 metres down when he got out. And so he popped up, a few seconds after Andrew.
Right.
And the only other thing that popped up was a Tupperware container lid. And that was it. That's all they had.
So
they didn't have their life jacket.
The boat sunk.
The boat sunk in they reckon probably within about 10 seconds.
But why did it sink?
They'd had some, the guy who owned the boat had two new engines put on it, and I think maybe there was a crack somewhere. It had all been engineered and everything, but yeah, it just went bang.
How'd they get rescued, Sue?
Well, because they had this one other commercial fishing boat, they basically said every time they came to the top of a wave, they just yelled and yelled, but they were on the land side of that boat, so the wind was carrying their voices out to the other boat. But apparently those two guys were looking at each other going, where'd that other boat go? Oh, they must have gone, and then, can you hear something? And so thank God they rescued them because it was in August, so the water would have been ridiculously cold.
Lucky they weren't 50 miles out to sea.
Lucky they weren't 50
I know,
k's, as
and
you
it's
said.
how lucky that they sunk next to another boat because it was the only one they saw all day. It was a weekday, it was cold.
But also, lucky for them, they saved a Tupperware lid.
Because they're so hard to find.
There's silver linings to this story.
I bet you when they got home, you said, oh, thank God that's back.
Well, where's the rest of it?
Sue, thank you for that story.
What use is a lid?
Thank you for the bricks of detail as well. And a timely reminder, if you're going out to sea, take the relevant safety equipment.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation podcast.
Let's get on down to the Jonesy and Amanda Arms for the pub test. Today, leaving your inheritance to the grandkids, does this pass the pub test?
Well, more and more people are doing this. Apparently, the number of wills bypassing children or middle-aged children and the money going straight to grandchildren has skyrocketed by 225%. That's a lot, isn't it? We've spoken about this before, about the nature of an inheritance. Is it yours to do what you want to do with it, or is it the person who's giving it to you can dictate what happens to it? Because what the reasoning here is grandparents are worried about their children going through divorces. They don't want the money going sideways, the money being diluted through multiple marriages. And a big big part of this is thinking that their children are financially okay, but the grandchildren need help to get into the property market, etc., etc. So that's one side of the argument.
Or is it just another thing where Generation X misses out again?
Well, maybe, because a lot of people in Generation X are finding that through divorce or through whatever circumstances, a changing workforce, that they're not faring so well financially. And to see your parents' money going not to you but to your children might stick in your throat.
And we were the generation that didn't cause trouble for our parents because we moved out of home early, we got jobs, we did all that sort of stuff.
But a lot of people are finding in their 40s that life isn't what they thought it would be and are finding themselves almost having to start again financially. How do you feel? Leaving your inheritance to the grandkids, does this pass the pub test?
Jam Nation.
Oasis.
We all know by now that they are reuniting to tour for the first time in 15 years. Lots of complaints about the ticketing system, though. Here are two guys. Remember they had that big fight with Blur? There was a big neck-and-neck competition in the 90s.
That's right.
And it was said at the time, I think, that Blur wrote songs for themselves in a way, whereas Oasis wrote Noel wrote the gritty songs about life at a certain stage of life, that Manchester on the streets was who they were.
I always thought the Blur sounded more gritty than Oasis.
But Oasis grew up in hard times, and I think their trope was that Blur didn't, that they were the pretty boys compared to these guys. So people are saying, well, what the hell? I'm looking back in anger because these two kids from Manchester are charging us through the nose, and it may not be their fault. There's price surging. You know, when you go for an Uber and on a Saturday night there's price surging, there's been price surging for the ticket costs as well. So there was a problem with Ticketek, that kind of Ticketmaster has let a lot of people down, extensive wait time, system glitches, etc., etc. But lots of problems with dynamic pricing, that's what they call it, which is price surging really. So you started the queue for, say, a floor standing ticket is the equivalent of $1,400.
Wow.
It's gone up to, some lower level sections are now $17,000.
Whoa.
Excuse me, £9,000.
£9,000?
Yeah. And so people who are in line for the cheapest ones, $290, by the time they get to the front of the queue, because of the surge, you're being charged $695. And I've seen here, someone's put a screenshot up. They're waiting in a queue. This is how many people are ahead of them. 520,000 people.
No.
So with prices...
Have you got this right?
Yeah.
520,000 people.
That's what that person said. That's what their screenshot has said. People ahead of you in the queue. So it's not Oasis's fault that everyone wants to see them. But the way this dynamic pricing is happening is pricing, you get in the queue and by the time you get to the front of the queue, the tickets are inexplicably expensive. And people and bots are buying up the tickets and reselling them. So
bots are buying the tickets?
Yeah. And
what, a robot in the crowd?
That's what happened with Taylor Swift as well, and they resell them.
Do Morning Glory.
Well, I don't think it's Dexter. I love song. Compatibility score. But between those brothers, not much.
Jonesy and Amanda. Sam Nation.
Podcast.
We're not gonna take it.
I want you to get up right now.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Go to your windows, open them, and stick your head out and yell, I am as mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there. Leaving your inheritance to the grandkids, does it pass the pub test?
The number of people doing this has skyrocketed by 225%. The reasons being given is that the kids who are in maybe their 40s are either already set up and it's harder for younger people to get into the property market, cost of living, etc. The other reason is the high rate of divorce, that you'd rather that your money wasn't split amongst randoms who you may not have even met yet, but give that money straight to the grandchildren. So leaving your inheritance to the grandkids, does it pass the pub test?
No, you shouldn't bypass the children. Time will come for the grandchildren.
At first I thought, I'm financially covered, so hand it to the grandkids, but I didn't think about people going through divorce and that. So honestly, I think you just put it to a vote and majority wins in the family. Depends on the circumstances, doesn't it, really?
Look, absolutely it does. You can do whatever you like with your money. Just don't leave it to the pet, because the pet actually can't do anything with it. But when it all comes down to it, you've earned that money. It's yours to do with as you choose. I get the whole struggle. You shouldn't truly benefit from a parent passing away. Let them do whatever they want with it.
Look, I think it passed the pub test. If you've got to leave it to the cat, leave it to the cat. But whoever is going to spend it best, if it's not the kids, then it probably would be the grandkids. So, pass the pub test. But I'm considering the cat at the moment because the way the kids are, so...
Leave it to Puss Puss.
That's a threat.
Jam Nation.
Do you know the premise of the show that's on at the moment called F-Boy Island?
No.
My son was telling me about this show. We've had MILF Island. We've had, remember that island where mums with their grown-up sons, they don't know their mums are going, the mums don't know the sons are going, and the mums have to watch the sons crack onto the older ladies and vice versa. I mean, where does it all end?
Epstein Island?
Epstein Island.
There's a show.
That's where it should have ended. So F-Boy, MILF Boy. I'm getting them all confused.
MILF Boy Island.
He's doing a MILF run on the way to school. F-Boy Island is a reality series. It's hosted by Abby Chatfield in Australia. It's been a big success also in the States. Here's a snippet.
F-Boy Island. Who's here for love? Who's here for cash? Who here has chlamydia?
So what happens? There's 24 male contestants and only 3 women and 24 male contestants.
Right.
12 of them are professed nice guys. They have to say who they are before they go in.
Yep.
And 12 identify as F-boys, meaning they're just in there to razz it all up. So during the competition, the girls have to ascertain who's an F-boy and who's a nice guy because there's a $100,000 cash prize. And if you are a nice guy and they choose you at the end, you split the money. If they choose an F-boy, he gets to keep all the money.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. There's a bit of jeopardy involved, especially when you throw in a venereal disease.
Oh, well, the creator of this is how hilarious is this. The creator of the show has said its purpose is to try and see if people can change for the right person. Oh, yeah. It's just people in bikinis having it off, basically. Any old who. As a nice antidote to all of that, let me tell you about this show that I've been reading about called Finding Mr. Christmas.
Yes.
So every year...
That's not a euphemism.
No. No. Every year, he comes once a year. Every year, Hallmark has a Christmas movie.
It's my life story.
The Christmas movie is an institution and are so famous because every year it follows the same trope. Every Hallmark film, there might be one about Thanksgiving, there'll be one about Christmas.
Yeah.
But the storyline is that there's an urban girl. She's coming from a country background. She's busy. She's usually working.
She's moved to the big city.
She's moved to the big city. She works in marketing. She's busy, but she's not fulfilled. The bosses are hard. I'm a hard ass. And a boyfriend who ghosts her. Something terrible happens.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, she has to move back to her hometown, maybe just for Christmas, maybe because her parents' pumpkin patch needs help for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But she moves back to her hometown. And she's all busy in business, and I'm too
busy
big town for this.
Yep.
And then she puts on an old sweater her mama's made her from years ago, and she meets a local, handsome, usually bearded, lovely young man.
And he's like a widow or something.
Yeah, often he's a widow. He's
Or with a
never
sick
in a
kid.
relationship. Yeah, he looks after his sick niece. There's always some nice where she goes, wow, he'd be an amazing father. So she meets him, falls in love, realises that her true heart is in all those beautiful things. So Finding Mr. Christmas is a TV show, a reality show, where they're trying to find the next leading man for the Hallmark movie.
Oh.
Have a listen to the trailer.
We're putting 10 unknown talents together in one house.
I want to be a Hallmark leading man.
They'll get the star-making chance of a lifetime to compete for a leading role in a Hallmark Christmas movie.
And action. The Hallmark leading man should have it all.
They'll be tested to show that they embody all the Hallmark magic they need to carry a movie.
Oh, I just want to cry. He winked at me.
He really likes you, Melissa.
Whoa! They'll need plenty of holiday spirit, charm,
But it's not near as hard as I'm falling for you.
and a whole lot of heart.
Oh my God, I love you guys so much.
Because in the end, only one
Unfortunately, you're going home for the holidays.
will become Mr. Christmas.
So good. And so they have to practice their dancing.
Yeah.
They're seeing kissing girls in the snow. They're pulling a sleigh. They're chopping down Christmas trees. They're holding puppies with their shirts off.
And no chlamydia.
And no, well, not that we know. That's for Boxing Day.
But on F-Boy Island, you can wrap someone's package.
True.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation
Podcast.
Let's go. No time for chit chat. I want to go home.
You like an ocean-going voyage? Imagine if your mum and dad, Jen and Art, said, hey, Amanda and Cameron, we're going to sail around the world. It's only going to take 3 years.
Well, if they said, hey, you're 7 years old, let's go out of school for a few years, you'd go, great.
Mm-hmm.
10 years later, no education, and your dad's going crazy, what do you do?
This happened to Susan Hayward. She's the author of Wave Walker. She's going to be joining us next. It's 22 to 9, WSFM.
Jonesy and Amanda. Jam Nation Podcast.
Imagine being raised on a boat, growing up surrounded by the ocean, away from the normality of school and the usual childhood routines. Sounds like a dream? Well, this is what UK native Suzanne Hayward did. This was her childhood, and it wasn't always a dream. She shares this unusual upbringing in the story in her new book called Wave Walker, and she joins us now. Suzanne, hi.
Hi, great to join you.
Well, I guess it's a lot of people might say, what's the matter with you, you big whinger? You get to go on a boat when you're 7, get out of school and everything. But having been on a few boats with cranky sailors, I know that it's not ideal.
Yeah, well, I think being on a boat is great. The problem with my journey is that I was on that boat for 10 years and we got shipwrecked along the way. We almost died. There was very limited schooling. And imagine being trapped on a boat for 10 years when you can't have friends.
Because it wasn't expected to be 10 years, or you didn't think it was going to be 10 years, did you?
No. When we set out, my dad said the voyage was going to be 3 years long. And then we had a terrible shipwreck crossing from South Africa to Australia. We ended up in Fremantle, spent a year repairing the boat. So it was 4 years to get to the end of the voyage. And then my father just decided to keep sailing. And he just didn't seem interested in the fact that my brother and me needed to go to school. We wanted friends. We just kept on sailing. And it went on and on and on for year after year after year.
And your mum was in on this, wasn't she?
Well, my mum hated sailing and she got terribly badly seasick. So I think that's one of the reasons why she was quite grumpy on the boat. But unfortunately, her view was that if my father was going to go sailing, she was going to go with him. So my mother was going to go, and therefore us kids had to go with them.
So what was day-to-day life like? I mean, even though the ocean would be constantly changing, there would be a sameness to being on a boat just with you, your brother and your parents for all that time.
Yes, so for the first few years, we were crossing big oceans. So we crossed the North Atlantic and then the South Atlantic Ocean, and then we crossed the Indian Ocean. So we were at sea for 6, 7, 8 weeks at a time. And when you're a little kid on a boat for that long, what you're doing is you're spending most of your time below deck, which is a pretty small space to be in. So you can't go and run around, you can't see friends, you can't really do very much because you're trapped down below. So my brother and I would make up games to try and make the time go by. Later on, when we got to Australia and then onwards, we were stopping from time to time, but we never stopped for that long, apart from when we were repairing the boat in Fremantle. So most of the time, we're just going from one place to another.
What was the strangest thing you saw while you were sailing in terms of flotsam, jetsam animals? What's some of the weird stuff you saw?
We saw some amazing stuff. So obviously whales and dolphins, and whales are quite scary if you're a sailor because there are many stories of boats that get damaged by whales. We also once sailed past an exploding volcano. That was in the South Pacific. We went to some very remote islands in Fiji where it was said that they used to have cannibals, but I don't know if that's true. I certainly never saw that myself. But we did see some incredible things.
And how do you go with are your parents still with us?
So sadly, no. My mum died in 2016. My parents were very, very much against me ever writing my story. And that's one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to write it, because I knew that if I told the story honestly, as it was, how I experienced it, they would get very angry. And my father is a naturally quite an angry person, particularly if he's kind of drinking. So it took me a long time to get brave enough to tell it. But I eventually got to the point where I had children who were the same sort of age as when I'd really struggled on Wave Walker. And then I looked at them as a parent and thought, I just can't understand the decisions that my parents made at the same age, and I really want to tell my story.
Wow.
Do you have resentment towards your parents now?
Not now, because the past is the past. I mean, people do say, kind of, do you forgive them? And I don't really forgive them, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't wake up in the morning feeling angry about it. It is what it is. They made some crazy decisions that were, all based around my father's dream of sailing this boat and didn't really take any great account of what his children needed, any sort of stability. But I don't really feel angry about that. I'm now a mum myself. I've got my own 3 kids. I've got my own career. I've written kind of several books, Wave Walker being the kind of last one. So I don't want to spend my life doing that. So no, I don't kind of feel bitter about it, but I'm very happy I've been able to tell my story and that it's touched so many people who've actually often not at sea, but they've often had similar sorts of experiences in their own family.
And do you go for a sail these days?
Not very much, although I did go back and get my Yachtmaster qualification before I wrote the book. A little bit of imposter syndrome going on there. I think I felt the need to go back and prove myself. But no. I'm afraid my 3 kids know enough of my childhood to have refused any sailing adventures.
That they wouldn't get on the boat. I can imagine. If you said, come on, kids, we're going for a sail. Oh, no, thanks, Mum.
It's only 3 years. Come on.
It's only a 3-hour tour. Susan.
Don't worry. We'll be back this afternoon.
Yeah, sure. You say that. Susan Hayward, the book is great. It's called Wave Walker. Thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Podcast.
Everybody shout. Come on now, sing out. It's time for the Ghoulies get together.
We're in September now. At the end of the year, we're giving away $20,000 to our favourite ghoulie of the year.
Super.
What have we got?
What gets my ghoulies is the incompatibility in technological devices. We've been forced to live in a digital world. There's robotics, there's facial recognition, there's cloud computing, identifying patterns, including people's behaviours and interests, and AI. But no, there's no such thing as a generic SIM card or chargers or USB ports that could fit any device.
That makes sense. She's quite right.
Although mobile phones are not linked to brain cancer.
28 years research, the most intense study, and that's what they found.
I'll be able to put away my metal hat.
It sets your feelings off.
What else have we got?
Hi guys, so what gets my ghoulies is the smeared bug on the windscreen. The bug lands, the bug squashes, and then stupidly you get your windscreen wipers on thinking that that will get rid of it, but no, it smears it in a beautiful arc all over your windscreen and preferably right on your eye line. That really gets my ghoulies.
I've got one of those on the go at the moment.
Well, I've spare a thought for the poor bug. Where's Timmy? Didn't come home for his dinner. He's in someone's eye
He
line.
went as he wanted to go.
Out with the bad and with the good. If you dipped out, doesn't matter. You can always contact us via the iHeartRadio app. It's 3 to 9.
Our favourite caller, email, or Facebook friend gets 2 tickets to 3 nights at Gig 60, including overnight accommodation and a pre-show dinner. You're going to see incredible legends, country music icons, kick off Sydney Coliseum's Music Festival in September. You can book tickets now at sydneycoliseum.com.au/gig60.
You also get the Jonesy and Amanda tea towel and key ring as well.
Well, we just spoke to Suzanne Haywood, who set off with her family for a sailing trip of a lifetime. Ugh. Didn't turn out that way. She was stuck on that boat as a kid for 10 years.
She didn't have a swell time.
No, the tribal drum was beating for Tales of the Sea.
Ahar! Tales of the Sea. Get your hands off me booty.
Michael from Old Toongabbie stood on the world's most venomous fish when he went on a cruise. He was having the time of his life and then he wasn't. He stood on a stonefish. But on his way to the hospital, he got some surprising support from onlookers.
When we were going down to the hospital, there was one elderly couple then. And then the husband says, "What have you done to yourself?" And I told him, "Sort on a stonefish." And he goes, "Well, there goes sex for you for the rest of the cruise." Quick as a flash, but the wife just slapped him across the chest. And she goes, "You don't have sex with your foot."
We've all learned something today.
You don't have sex with your foot.
Righto, you two. That's enough.
Ugly Phil's up next with your chance to win the next trip for 2 to the Cook Islands. We're giving it away on Friday.
We'll be back from 6 tonight for Jam Nation.
See you then.
Good day to you.
Well, thank God that's over.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Wipe the tears, baby, dear, from your eye.
Catch Jonesy and Amanda's podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Catch up on what you've missed on the free iHeartRadio app.